Hey guys, good morning. So it is Wednesday the 17th. Um, Man, I walk into LA a week from tomorrow, so it's getting exciting. And it really is. I'm going to talk a little bit today about last night, some funny things, some things. I'm not trying to be dramatic, I'm just trying to be real, but I'm not complaining. What people don't know about me, some of you out there know, this is the journey for me. This is the part that I enjoy the most, I guess, is the not just the unknown, but the unknown with, I guess, a little scare where people say don't go or you shouldn't go or don't talk to. It's kind of where I'm at right now. Not mentally, I mean literally, physically, logistically. So it's Wednesday. I wrote a few things down. I got to tell you a story about this room I'm sitting in. Kind of a funny story from last night. But before I do that, I want to let you guys in a little bit on kind of where my mind gets set. It's funny, I've already got a couple emails today. Where's your morning video? Well, I'm on the West Coast, guys. I know you're back east. 9:30 your time, only 6:30 my time here. Um, so the first part is to kind of line up the day. I usually have it the night before. I'm still facing a little bit of a challenge today. I got about 140 miles to go in 8 days. That's easily doable. I don't even have a backpack anymore. I don't know if you can see this cart over here. This is the cart that's got me. I have a duffel bag from Bob and Sue. I get my backpack away. My golf cart thing didn't work out, so I strapped my duffel bag to the cart here, put my yellow shirt over it, and I wheel that. So the distance isn't a problem. Today, we'll be taking up a large chunk of that distance. Today, I'm going to be heading down to a town called Victorville. Um, from what everything I can tell, Victorville's about 30. Well, so here's the thing. When I map out a route, normally on this route, Route 66 is run right along the highway, the right next to it, or literally the highway. Today's a little bit different. The highway is, I'm writing some stuff down here, 33 miles. I could take Route 15, or Highway 15, down to Victorville, about 33 miles. The advantage of doing that is it's the shortest route, and there's a travel center right off the highway, about 6 or 7 miles out of town. I can stop and rest in, um, and I can go that route. To the, I want to say the north or the west of that is Route 66. And that goes through some towns, if you guys are following me, which I'll talk about in a moment. Let me make sure this is on. It is on. Um, there's a town called Hodge, Hellendale, Bryman, La Delta, Oro Grande. That route will take me 36 miles. So at 3 miles an hour, that's 12 hours of just walking. I don't have anywhere lined up yet. And then there's a route to the south and to the west, I guess, of 15. That kind of goes a different way. That's about 36 miles as well, but I couldn't see even any towns in that. The MapQuest feature tells me that's the best walking route to go, but I didn't see any towns along the way. So I think what I'm going to do, if you follow me, I think I'm going to take the highway out to test the first 6 or 7 miles till I get to that travel center. Sit down, re-up and get some waters, check my money situation, isn't the strongest right now, um, and make a plan from there. I think from there I can get back, but there's a road before that, maybe I'll check on the way that I can get back to 66, or I can stay on 15. I got to see how wide, these are the things that, go into play, how wide the shoulder is on the highway. Sometimes 66, believe it or not, even though there's less traffic, has no shoulder. So you're walking, so this is some of the stuff that I've got to kind of take into account, as well as distance. 3 miles doesn't seem like much, but walk 3 miles after you've walked 35 miles and see what that happens. So if you know anybody in those towns, certainly in Victorville is my destination tonight. If you guys can reach out, Chamber of Commerce, churches, Facebook page, anything like that, just let them know I'm coming through. Sometimes somebody reaches out and says they'd like to be part of the story, and see what happens. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I talked about you guys following me. So this is, I don't know if I've showed you guys this yet, but this is what Outdoor Equipment Rentals sent me. You can go to oerentals.com, and this is simply a tracking device. It tells you how many miles I've walked, it tells you the time, my battery strength, which I'll have to charge. It's got an SOS button, so if I do get into trouble out there, I click and hold this SOS button. The satellite beacon comes down. Well, the way to follow me, and I know my friend Mrs. Rogers' class at Bermudian Springs Middle School is going to, is at share.garmin.com/PTT Journey. So if you log on to share.garmin, GARMIN.com/PTT Journey, you'll see this little tracker going across the country. It doesn't go very fast. It doesn't go very far. On a big map, 30 miles isn't all that much. 35 miles isn't all that much. So, but there you go. You guys can follow me with that. On another note, I just mentioned Mrs. Ryder's class. Mrs. Ryder met me. She didn't meet me. She found out about me some weeks back. I think her husband might have been instrumental in that happening. Anyway, she teaches a health class back in Albuquerque. I did a live video with the kids. Great kids. It all got started when she was teaching a class about mental health and things, and said, how do you, what's one way to resolve conflict? And the one young man, I get their names wrong all the time, Jeffrey and Jordan. I apologize, guys. I truly, truly apologize. One of the gentlemen said, by pointing the thumb, which I thought was brilliant, and I want to give them all the props in the world. Anyway, we talked for some time, and they asked me to come out and speak with them. The class did. I don't know if the school will let me or the principal will let me, but I certainly would be more happy to. But they did something the other day for me. I kind of asked them, and I think I asked them to. Maybe they did on their own, but they sent me kind of a top 10 list of things, if I did come speak to a school of kids in, their age, early teens, what they would want to hear about from the journey. And it was really helpful. Guys and gals, I think it was all boys in my class for some reason. But anyway, I appreciate the insight. I do. The only thing I got to say is one of them, the only one in big bold letters was don't lecture. I thought about that, and I want to not lecture. I want to regale you guys with stories of the journey and some of the fun I've had, some of the scary moments I've had, some of the weird moments I've had. And that is a good story, but at the end of the day, if I'm not trying to get a point across, trying to carry forth my message of pointing the thumb, then I'm really not doing justice being at your school. Otherwise, I'm just a buddy of yours hanging around telling stories. So, while I know you guys put in caps, don't lecture, unfortunately, there's got to be some lecturing that goes on. I feel it's my kind of call of duty, guys, to share things with you and to point out and illustrate different perspectives. I'm not going to pound you to death with it, but I am going to ask you to point the thumb. I am going to explain my interpretation of that. I think pointing the thumb is what will help change our world a little bit and our society. You guys at your level, really, if you didn't see my video yesterday, need to watch a YouTube video by a young lady named Amanda Todd. There's different perspectives from it, and it overwhelmed me so much, maybe because of my own kid's age, that I actually couldn't really get my thoughts together yesterday during my video. But, certainly there's the aspect of don't bully, right? There's these kids bullied this young lady into so much depression that she ended up killing herself. Don't bullying is one message, but a second message is don't pile on. It only takes one jackass, guys, to say something derogatory, to say something they think is funny at the expense of somebody else. And again, I'm going to point the thumb at myself and admit that I'm sure in my lifetime, I don't think I might have been the initial guy, but I know I've piled on back when I was in high school. All I can say is learn from my mistakes, learn from other people's mistakes. It takes a real strong person to have the courage to not pile on, to say, hey guys, I'm not going to be part of this. That's a person over there. I realize that now, and that is lecturing to you guys, and that is a message I want to share. So there's the message of not only, don't bully, because I know there's a lot of people out there going, oh, I would never say that to somebody. I would never do that to somebody. I'm sure 99.5% of the people would never do that. Well, I think where you need to look in the mirror and point the thumb at yourselves is, if the masses were doing it, would I do it? If half of my school and all the cool kids were calling, this kid Four Eyes or that kid Zit Face or whatever, and I'm saying, obviously there's much worse things, would you just sort of adapt that as well? And I know it's easy to say, no, I wouldn't, but when you're in a situation, it takes tremendous courage. In fact, if you guys stand up to somebody, I would like to know about that. Share that with me. That's the stuff that's positive. You should be recognized and awarded for not participating in something like that. And I think that's part of our problem with our society is someone's afraid to go and say, hey, let me point the thumb, look at what I did. I did something really good today. Mom, dad, teacher, principal, random adult. Look what I did. I didn't pile on to this kid, and you should be recognized for that. All right. So, and then the third thing is mental health. Right. Everybody in life sometimes has some bad days, some bad moments, some depression. No, you're not the only one out there. Reach out to somebody, please. Reach out to somebody. And if somebody is reaching out to you, I don't care how old you are, extend a hand to them. Extend a hand. You don't have to be the one to help them, but maybe you can help them get the help they need. All right? So I know I just lectured and I broke your rule, Mrs. Ryder's class, but I'm sorry. That's who I am. Lastly, I got to tell you about this place I'm at. So when I got to walk 36 miles, I usually leave about an hour before dark. I know I'm going to take some breaks. It's about a 12-hour day, and that's about how much daylight we get these days, 11 hours. But the town I'm in right now was a little unsavory, and I said, I'm going to wait till daylight. Daylight is just coming up now. I don't know if you can already see. Sunshine just coming up, so I'm going to talk about this shortly. But I'm in this room, and I don't know if you can see this. So I walked in this room last night, and I've done this to people's homes, but I didn't even get under the covers. I just brought up my sleeping bag and slept on top. I walked in, there's still pens and trash over there. Here's my energy drink. There's hair bands and metal stuff over here. So let me tell you about last night a little bit. About 9:30 at night, I knew when I walked back here in the daylight and got my wash done and got some microwave pizzas for dinner that I was locking myself in a room watching some baseball and waiting it out this morning. Well, if you guys haven't kept up with me, I fall asleep on the West Coast like 9 o'clock at night. I go to sleep because it's dark, and if I'm outside, I got nothing else to do in the dark. So my body's been doing that. Anyway, I hear what sounds like knocking from the walls, so I just think it's a kind of a low-rent hotel, and maybe the neighbors are making whatever noise. I'm not about to go confront them. Who knows what I'm going to run into? So I ignore it for about 5 minutes, and then I hear it again, louder. And finally I hear like keys by the front door, and I jump up. I'm like, what the? So I come up, and the manager of the hotel, this little bitty lady with the one I checked in with, was coming into the room. What the hell are you doing? So when I tried to check in online, their computer wasn't working. When I tried to check in person, their computer wasn't working. So they did the old-fashioned receipt. You slide the card over. You write down all the information, the card number. Well, I guess they tried to process it last night, and they punched in the wrong number on my card. So they thought my card didn't work, so they needed to get their money. So at 9:30 last night, they're banging on my door. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention is when I opened the microwave to do my little microwave pizza, whoever here was their last dinner was still sitting in the microwave. So just when I'm a little bit skeeved out and thinking I can't wait to get out of here, I wake up in the middle of the night. I go to the bathroom, and over in the corner there, I looked at there's some tissues, but I thought they were handy wipes. So I go to go, well, those are handy wipes. I could probably use those. So I go to grab the handy wipes, and it's just tissues. As I move it, the roach runs out right across the bathroom countertop. So to those of you that may consider putting me up at your home, I slept above the blankets, I promise you. You know, this is, and I'm not complaining about this. This is the journey. People I know are home like, oh my God, you can't stay in a place like that. That's kind of the fun of it, you know. If I was staying in the Four Seasons every which way, there wouldn't be much story to it, right? And look, I'm glad to have a roof over my head, but that is the story. So, needless to say, it's a less than savory place. I did have some friends, the roaches. I don't know what else I had. Again, they didn't bother to vacuum or clean. You know, hairband over here, hairband, metal shards. There's still some on the bed over here I found earlier. It's just bizarre. But anyway, so at 9:30 last night, they're banging on my door. I'm jumping up like, what the hell is going on? Is this a drug raid? What did I get myself into? But here we go, guys. So again, please follow my journey the rest of the way at share.garmin.com/PTT journey. Not sure what direction. I know what direction, but I'm not sure which of the 3 routes I'm going to take today. Today's a big day because it'll be the bulk. And once I get done with today, I only have about 105 miles to go over like 7 days. So at that point, I only got to average 15 miles a day. I think the journey's going to take a different twist. I'm going to be talking to a lot of people as I see a lot of people. And when I have the time, I might walk up to strangers and just kind of get their stories. I think there are stories out there. And that's what I got. So I love you, Carolyn and Grace. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for following. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.